Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with
Welcome, family and friends. You may be seated. We are here to celebrate the love of Audrey and Daniel. They have asked you to come to share in this ceremony because they love and cherish each of you. Your presence here allows Daniel and Audrey to be surrounded by the people dearest and most important to them. Among us today are Audrey's parents, Susan and Arthur Chait, and Daniel's mother and stepdad, Julie and Greg Ray. Audrey and Daniel would specifically like to thank you for your love and support throughout their lives and helping to make this day possible. Today, we also remember family members who are no longer with us. Please take a moment of reflection to remember them. Daniel and Audrey are lucky enough to have friends from across the globe that care for them, so we would like to acknowledge all of those of you who are joining us virtually. Welcome to one and all, and thank you for your presence here today. We now ask for your blessing, encouragement, and support for Daniel and Audrey's decision to become married. Marriage is one of the most rewarding and challenging relationships two people can enter into. While this is a wedding ceremony, we can't instantly create a marriage here today. Audrey and Daniel have already laid the foundation for their marriage throughout their courtship. Their marriage will be created through continued love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, through helping, supporting, and believing in each other, through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate their differences, and by learning to make the important things matter and let go of the rest. This ceremony serves to witness and affirm Audrey and Daniel's choice to take this journey and stand together as lifemates and partners. I've known Audrey for nearly 10 years. We've lived together, we've shared excitement and fear and disappointment together. She supports me and puts me in my place when I need it, which is often. She's a true friend. Several years ago, she called asking for my advice. She asked if I thought it was responsible to rent a room from someone who she was interested in dating. We chatted a little bit about the situation, and I confirmed her intuition to go with slightly inferior housing based on the chance that she and this guy may have a relationship in the future. It seems like that advice worked out. Because shortly thereafter, I had the pleasure of meeting Daniel, and what a pleasure that was. He and Audrey came to visit my husband Reagan and I in New York, and I can truly say I've never seen two people so authentically in love in my life. Not only was it so sweet to see that love, it was and is a reminder of the joy our relationships should bring to us. Over the years, I've gotten to know Daniel even better through weekly voice lessons and Zoom double dates, and I'm often impressed with what a truly wonderful and caring human being he is. I'm lucky to call him a friend now, and so happy he and Audrey are here today to take this next step in their relationship. In preparation for this ceremony, Daniel and Audrey shared some thoughts about each other, and I thought it was really important for us to hear them today. Daniel describes Audrey as cool, calm, and collected in the face of everything. She is articulate, well-read, empathetic, and accommodating. She's independent, brilliant, and loving. Audrey also has the best range of vocabulary anyone Daniel knows. She can sing and dance tremendously. She's a world-class snuggler. And honestly, the greatest cat mom imaginable. She is the stuff of ideal partner lore. Audrey says Daniel is the kindest person and is always focused on helping others, whether in his job as a realtor or as a soccer coach. His enthusiasm for life is almost as infectious as his enthusiasm for pizza. He's very invested in his own personal growth and works hard on it every single day. He also truly loves people and will find ways to connect authentically with almost anyone in any situation. He has a vast network of people who care about him deeply. He always texts back. Audrey loves that Daniel isn't afraid to be vulnerable, whether it means getting silly with her and the cats or crying in a sad movie. He pretty much always wants a smooch. You have to wait just a little bit. I now have the joy of inviting Natalie Braun and David Scopin, Daniel's aunt and uncle, to share some readings with us.
So my reading is I Carry Your Heart With Me. I Carry It In by E.E. Cummings. His name. So I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by me, or whatever is done by only me, is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world for beautiful, you are my world, my true. And it's you who are whatever a moon has always meant. And whatever a sun will always sing is you. So here's the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of the sky, of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul, and can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
Audrey and Daniel. Some things go together. Pairs of things that go together. Pigeons with parks. Not gonna work either. Okay. Stars with dark, sand with sea, and you with me. Hats with heads, pillows with beds, sky with blue, and me with you.
Thank you, Natalie and David. Community is immensely important to Audrey and Daniel. They are so excited to have their communities come together and support their commitment today. Daniel and Audrey's love is a source of strength which they will draw on throughout their lives. We, as their community of friends and family, will also benefit from this love and strength derived from their relationship. In turn, we have a responsibility to this couple. Through our continued care, respect, and love, we can support their marriage and the family they are officially establishing today. Will everyone please rise if you are able? Will you who are here today surround Audrey and Daniel in love, offering the joys of your friendship and support them in their marriage? If so, please respond, "We will." We will. You may be seated. Audrey and Daniel, throughout your lives, you will both learn, grow, and change. With love that is built upon trust and communication, may you learn, grow, and change together. Your commitment to choosing to continue your lives together will now be revealed through your vows to one another. Your ability to keep the vows that you've both written to each other is rooted in your desire to love and respect, and to be loved and respected by the other person fully, without limitation. May the vows you share today strengthen your bond and build upon the love and commitment you have already established in each other's hearts. And may upholding these vows fill your lives with joy and serve as a reminder of the love and commitment you have for each other. Audrey, will you please share your vows with Daniel?
Daniel, I love you so much. We often refer to ourselves as the Critter family, meaning, of course, you, me, and the cats. And I'm so happy to officially become family in front of our loved ones here today. We are saying our vows standing next to this arch, which we made ourselves. Thinking back to that day always makes me smile. I was nervous because sometimes when we do construction projects together, it's not what I would call our finest hour. But as we cut the birch trees into the correct lengths and attached the whole thing together, our teamwork could not have been better. We made a plan, asked each other's opinion, and established good systems. And in the end, we were both happy with the outcome. We made something functional and beautiful, just like we will do in our marriage. I do believe that we were meant to be together. The odds of us meeting are so small that there is no other explanation. I arrived in Cincinnati after 3 years of full-time traveling as a freelance opera director, and remember thinking that I was ready for a more serious relationship if the universe wanted to send me my person. And pretty immediately, it sent me you. Things accelerated quickly. On our third date, about 1,000 feet from where we are now, I met your best friend and 2 of your sisters. About a month after that, I met your parents. In an unprecedented move for me, I said I love you first, and I said it early on. Our relationship has always been marked by a little bit of magic. Once we were out to dinner, and a drunk lady leaving the restaurant after a party gave us a balloon because she said it seemed like we were really in love and we deserved it. I know we'll always have that magic. But we have something just as important as magic, which is partnership. A few months into our relationship, I was at work at CCM, and long story short, cut my hand on some glass and had to go to the ER. You canceled your plans and came and met me there. I asked if I could list you as my emergency contact, and you said yes, of course. I started to fill out the form, and when I got to relationship, started to put boyfriend, and you said, maybe partner. Then we attempted to snuggle in the exam chair. We hadn't been together very long, but for the first time, I knew I did have a real partner. Since then, we've been partners through a lot. Periods of long distance, a global pandemic, new career paths, and making our home in a construction site for 2.5 years. We've also been partners through magical vacations, Michelin-starred meals, and endless snuggles with the cats. Partnership is an active choice, one I promise to make for the rest of our lives as your wife. I know we will both evolve considerably in the decades to come, and that we have the tools to do so together. I love that you love to talk about our relationship and that you value communication so highly. You approach life with the utmost generosity and readiness to help, and are always ready to dive into something with your whole heart. I'm so proud of you and proud that we're choosing each other. Though we are very aligned on the important things in life, you and I are very different. Learning new things about each other and ourselves is a source of constant inspiration to me. We have learned that your favorite opera aria is Figaro's opening number from The Barber of Seville. I can now name at least 5 current NFL quarterbacks and 5 Gillian Welch songs. We know that you actually do like oysters and that I am fully obsessed with cats. I promise to always keep learning about you and to use that knowledge to be the best partner to you that I can be. These are my vows, so now I'll make some vows. I promise to love you all the time, when it's perfect, when it's imperfect, and even when La Rosa's messes up your pizza order. I promise to communicate about both big stuff and small stuff, and to be honest about what I need. I promise that I will still be way into you when you're 80 and I'm 77. I promise to be supportive of your family, your work, your passions, and your community. I will celebrate your achievements and be your #1 fan as we make our way through life together. I promise to be the best possible cat parent to our little girls. And finally, I promise to always be your babeski.
I will not cry. Feel your feelings. My baby skin. How far we've made it. Simultaneously feels like it was forever ago and yesterday that I showed up at the front door of my apartment wearing Crocs. I remember opening the door and seeing you standing there in these like ripped jeans and leather jacket, and you had this like stage director New York City coolness just like emanating from you. And I feel like today I can finally admit that I have had a crush on you since the first moment I met you. So thank you for sticking with me and saying yes to our first date despite the Crocs. And for every single moment since then, you are the love of my life. A few weeks ago, I was out of town and found myself with a rare few hours of complete silence, sitting alone and without you. And it had been almost 16 hours since I'd last seen you or hugged you or kissed you or snuggled with you, and I felt your absence in that moment. And I began thinking about how you had told someone at the hardware store a few days prior that I was your husband, even though we weren't yet married, and it felt so good to just sit and think about that, and I couldn't help but like just this big bursting smile coming from my face. And this moment right now, just becoming your husband, is really cool and feels so good. I remember in the early days how we used to write each other cards, and like for every big occasion, for like Valentine's Day and birthday and Christmas and Thanksgiving. I don't think, but I remember there was one, and on the front of it it read, "The best is yet to be." And there was always like this strange air of truth to that, because no matter how incredibly in love with you I felt one day, the next it would just grow even more. It's been like watching the seed grow into this little like green leaf that then grows into a flower and then surprises us and grows into this big tree. And that tree has now grown into something that I never thought was possible. And it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's pretty cool. So I can see that today so clearly, looking at this incredible life we've built together. A community of the most amazing friends and a family who loves us beyond measure, especially our two little babe skis up the hill. It's the cats. We have to translate things for a lot of people sometimes. I can say that I've never loved you more than I love you in this moment today. I'm so honored and humbled to be able to share life with you. So this is the part where I was going to sing you a Katy Perry song a cappella. But I'm going to spare you that awkward experience.
Do it.
Instead, I'll make you some promises too, since these are vows. I promise to always give you the space to grow and to reflect and to make your amazing impact on the world with your beautiful mind and to be your own wonderfully independent self. I admire you so much. I promise that I will always be here with you at the end of the day to just laugh and chill out together and chat about the minutiae of our days. I promise that I'll always be your silly old babeski. And I promise that when you need me to not be, that I'll be ready to talk about the hard stuff, the important stuff, and I promise to do so in only the way that you've inspired me to, from a place of love and calm. Just never ever made that hard for me. I promise to support you in whatever way you need from me always. I promise that if things ever do get hard, that I will work even harder to overcome those challenges. There's not one person on this earth who I would rather have be my teammate in the face of everything. There's not one other person I would rather experience all the good and beauty of life with than you. There's not one other person I would rather depend on to be by my side and defend me through every single thing, to keep me honest, to guide me when I feel lost. And you, I have no doubt that's always been there. I promise to work so hard to make sure you feel the same way always. Audrey Danielle Cheek, my darling, my babes. It's the honor of my life to become your husband today.
Audrey and Daniel, look into each other's eyes. Remember this moment when you shared your vows with one another among your family and friends. And to this moment, Audrey and Daniel, you bring the fullness of your hearts as a treasure to share with one another. You bring the dreams that bind you together, having experienced the pure joy which accompanies your love for one another and believing in a fulfillment of a lifetime together. I invite you to share your declaration of intent with one another. Audrey, do you take Daniel to be your husband, to be none other than himself, acknowledging and accepting his faults and strengths as he accepts your faults and strengths? Do you promise to be his in plenty and in want, in sickness and in health, in sorrow and success? Will you love, respect, and cherish him? Dream and celebrate with him? Will you walk beside him through whatever life may bring? If so, say I do.
I do.
Daniel, do you take Audrey to be your wife, to be none other than herself, acknowledging and accepting her faults and strengths as she accepts your faults and strengths? Do you promise to be hers in plenty and in want, in sickness and in health, in sorrow and success? Will you love, respect, and cherish her, dream and celebrate with her? Will you walk beside her through whatever your lives may bring? If so, say I do. Jaded and Jordan, may I please have the rings? These rings are an outward and visible sign of the promise of love and commitment you have made to each other with your hearts. The ring is an unbroken and never-ending circle. It is a symbol of unending love. Daniel, as you place this ring on Audrey's finger, repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of love, commitment, and trust. I promise you today. Audrey, as you place this ring on Daniel's finger, repeat these words after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of the love, commitment, and trust I promise to you today. May the vows you have made to each other today be the source of happiness and life-giving strength. Audrey and Daniel, you have come here today of your own free will, and in the presence of your community, you have declared your love and commitment to each other. You have given and received a ring as a symbol of your promises, and by the power of your love and commitment to each other, and by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you married. You may kiss your wife and husband. Congratulations. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the newly married couple.